Good morning, everybody. I'm Susan Riley with Bridgepoint Business and Real Estate Advisors, and I'm glad to be here today. I'm excited. I haven't spoken publicly in quite a while, so I'm a little rusty, but we'll get through, right? Okay. I grew up in Polk County, Florida. If you go south on 27 out of Ocala about 2 hours, you'll get to Haines City, and that's my hometown. Yeah, thank you. I grew up there. I got to do this. I had 3 older brothers. They're 6, 8, and 9 years older than me, and you might think that I'm the princess type, and I'm not the princess type. Never have been. Instead, I learned to be proactive and strategic, and how I did that was being first at the dinner table, because if I was first at the dinner table, I got first servings, and then I could eat quick before they got started, and I could get seconds before they finished their first. So that was a very strategic move on my part, and that's how I learned to grow up. I had a stay-home mom, and my dad was a real estate attorney. So after college, I went to work for my dad's law firm, and I learned a lot from him. He was a really smart guy. I learned a lot about real estate development. He did bigger things like malls and hospitals and water treatment facilities, planned urban developments, those kinds of bigger projects. I learned a lot from him. But I also learned how to do accounting, and worked for, it was a family business. It was my dad, my mom, myself, and one of my other brothers who turned out to be an attorney too. And all that was going fine until, of course, I met a guy. You know how that goes. And I got married in 1996, and he was a serial entrepreneur, so it was really a really good fit for me too. Serial entrepreneur, and we moved to Colorado. And over the next 24 years, with 2 kids, we started, grew, and eventually sold 5 small businesses. And during all that time, I did the bookkeeping, accounting, and billing in the background. And he was, of course, in the front, and I was in the back with raising 2 kids at the same time. And I remember, raising 2 kids, and just like it was yesterday, with my toddler son on my left hip, my mouse in the right hand, QuickBooks on the screen, and my my toddler daughter crawling across my feet under the desk. That was my life as a serial entrepreneur. So, over 24 years, our marriage ended, and I decided to create a company of my own. Thank you. A company of my own called Healthy Bookkeeping Online, and it was a remote bookkeeping business doing strictly QuickBooks Online for businesses across 4 states, and it was myself and 3 other QuickBooks Pro advisors. So I had 4 people total doing QuickBooks Online for businesses and doing for small businesses what I had done for my ex-husbands and my companies all those years. And that was a really good business, and I ended up selling it. I moved from Colorado then to Florida in 2020, and in 2021, a CPA I knew offered to buy Healthy Bookkeeping, and so I sold it. And with that non-compete, I was out of the accounting business, which was okay. I was ready to move on anyway. So I decided to go into commercial real estate, and I started with Berkshire Hathaway Commercial in Pinellas County, and worked there doing that for a couple years, commercial real estate. And then I wanted to move to a different location that wasn't crazy like Pinellas County, and I always liked Ocala when I was a kid and would come through here and see the horses, and just loved Ocala, and it was such a good commercial market. So I decided to pull up roots in Pinellas County and move to Ocala, and I've been here since the end of December. And once I got here, a CPA I knew recruited me to join his real estate brokerage firm. He does, and that is Bridgepoint Business and Real Estate Advisors. And Bridgepoint is a different real estate firm in that we have a lot of ancillary people that are necessary for the sale of a small business or of commercial real estate. So we have title, and we have mortgage, and we have appraisers, residential and commercial. We also have valuation analysts, which are the people that look at businesses and tell you how much they're worth. And of course, he is a CPA and his CPA staff, and we also have a legal team. So we have all the things that you need when selling a business or commercial real estate. So that appealed to me because obviously with my business background and my previous owned businesses. That was a really good fit. So I changed companies to Bridgepoint. Here, yeah, and there's what the expertise areas that we do. So today, all that brings me to 2024 and what my focus is today. And the first focus is my kiddos. My daughter there to the right of me is Catherine. She's 26. She's in grad school. My son is 23, and he lives in Denver. They both still live in Colorado, by the way. I was just there a couple weeks ago. I'm not standing in a hole there. My daughter is really I think she's 5'9", and my son is 6'4", so they're really big people. Speaking of big people, my other second focus right now is my guy. His name is Tommy, Thomas McIntosh. He has a history in real estate also, but in Gainesville as a broker for residential. And he is going to be moving here, so this is really cool. He'll be here in a couple weeks, moving in with me, and we're starting a new chapter in our life, which will be good. And yeah, thanks. And then there's Abby. This is Abby. Abby is 6.5, and she's a rescue from Colorado, so she's a Colorado native, but she moved to Florida with me back a couple years ago. And she's a great dog, very protective, perfect. She's a really good girl. And this is my QR code, and if you'd like to get a hold of me or pass this along to somebody that you know, all my information's there, and I'd love to talk with you. I'm very interested in business brokerage, commercial real estate, do some residential real estate, but only from the investment side. I don't list residential properties generally. And yeah, I'd love to hear from any of you. Thanks for your time.